Hello, it's Sylvia Michetti. Thank you for joining me today on Luminosity TV. Last week, I talked about how each of us has been endowed with gifts and abilities to help us figure out who we are and why we're here. Because we were not left alone to canvas through this earth blindly. In fact, at every turn, there's always been help available to us, provided we know what the goal is, provided we are spiritually awake to know what we are looking for and to recognize the help when it comes. Have you ever wondered how the world works? How day turns into night? How winters turn into summers? How sunshine comes after the rain? And how a little girl can grow up to be an old lady? There's a mighty power that streams forth from our Creator. And this is what sustains us and allows us to flourish on this earth. And in addition to that power, we've been given the gift of free will, which we've been blessed with, to help us decide if we want to use that power for good or if we want to use it for evil. The choice is ours, but with that choice comes a price. Imagine two boys born into this world on the same day. One from a poverty-stricken slums of India to a single mom who's struggling to raise him. And the other boy, born in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, New York, to very wealthy parents. The poor boy, having experienced such difficult circumstances in his life, grows up very hardworking, and he earns every single dollar honorably. He decides to help his community with the little money he earns by helping all those children who remind him of himself, who are growing up in the slums. The rich boy, on the other hand, he grows up feeling rather entitled, spending daddy's money on cars, on clubs, on girls, and you guessed it, drugs. These are the choices they've both had to make for themselves. On the flip side, the poor kid can decide that, life has dealt him an unfortunate blow, and he decides to forcibly take from the rich because he blames them for his misfortune. He becomes an armed robber and he torments the lives of others around him, while the rich kid with the wealthy parents sees how fortunate he is in his life, and he decides to help the less privileged in the slums of India, even though he's never experienced what it feels like to be poor. These are the many ways in which we exercise our free will, given the circumstances that we find ourselves. But when we do so, we automatically assume responsibility for what we choose to do with those circumstances. And with those come consequences, because every choice comes at a premium. Every action will generate a reaction, and every cause has its own effect. Are we ready to embrace the consequences of our choices? Or are we careless with the choices we make without giving it any thought as to how it would affect us in our future? It is not the circumstances that you're born in that matters. It is what you decide to do with the circumstances. What if we don't look at life as hard or easy? What if we don't look at it as rich or poor? What if we don't moan and complain while life is the way it is? What if we take every opportunity and live through the struggle, live through the hardship, through the enjoyments, through the suffering, and all the joyful moments in between? What if we see it as our own tailor-made experience in this life so that we can learn a lesson from what it is teaching us? And just like the poor or the rich kid, we eventually make the right choices. We are not on earth to wander aimlessly and complain about all of our misfortunes, because really, when we think about it, nothing comes to us by accident if we didn't earn it already for ourselves. Whether it be misfortune or good fortune, we are always deserving of what comes our way. We must consider whether our thoughts and our actions will bring us reward in our future, or whether it would bring us punishment. Will it benefit humanity, or will it be for our own selfish interest? Will it be for good, or will it be for evil? The battle is always with the enemy within, which each of us must fight. That enemy is our own baseless vanity and conceit, our own arrogance, our indulgence in ourselves, thinking and purporting that we are actually worth more than we truly are. As they say, our ego tripping and dripping all over the place. We plant the seeds of wrong choices that would eventually lead to us reaping the wrong fruits. There's no one making life difficult for you. Your choices have made life difficult for you. If you pay more attention to yourself and not to others, you can begin to free yourself inwardly, and you'll be free externally as well, because no one can bind you. They are not the reason for your problems. They cannot affect you negatively when you truly know who you are. Today, you see so many people, from the moment they wake up, they concern themselves with what others are doing. They can sit on their toilet seats for 2 hours scrolling through other people's lives on social media and everywhere else. You start your day by clogging up your brain with what's going on externally. You won't have time for your own inner life, for the real you. I used to do that, but then I realized I was spending my energy on others. When do you catch a glimpse of who you truly are? When does your inner life take center stage? They say that what you focus on expands. So if you focus on improving yourself and working on yourself, you're bound to expand. And I don't mean expand in size. Before you say, well, Sylvia said I'm going to expand. No, I mean expand in your mind, in your outlook towards life, in the way that you see yourself. Energy flows where attention goes. So are we paying attention to where our energy is going? Is that energy working for you? Or is your radar turned towards what others are doing with theirs? There's so much to look at inwardly, but we never bother to examine ourselves. We're always too busy examining others. There's so little time. And yet, many of us are scared what we might find when we decide to focus on ourselves. So instead, we look for, external stimulation from others and the way they're living their lives. Watching others whilst life is passing them by, rushing through time. And before we know it, they've experienced nothing for the spirit. They've learned nothing for the soul. But guess what? They can tell you what Beyonce had for breakfast last Saturday and which outfit Rihanna wore on the red carpet 2 days ago. I know this. I've been there myself, concentrating on other people rather than focusing on improving myself. But when you begin to look inwards and discover who you are, you realize that true life is what you take from within and express outwardly to ennoble your surroundings, not what you are taking from your surroundings to define yourself. When I began to focus my attention on my inner life, I started craving a certain level of refinement in everything. How I could do it better for myself and for the greater good. How I could spend my energy more wisely. Christ already told us that in his Father's kingdom there are many mansions. Today, we are building the mansions where we're going to be. With every choice that we make, with every thought, every word, and every action, and everything we focus our energy on. So what kind of mansion are you creating for yourself? Is it one that would bring retribution and sorrow? Or is it one that would bring you reward and happiness? Again, the choice is yours. If after years of wandering on this earth, we struggle to find happiness, to find fulfillment and purpose, because we've wasted so much time on the mundane earthly life, while the inner spiritual life suffers, then what a wasted opportunity that would have been. Service is the rent that we pay for living on this earth for free. Service to our Creator, service to humanity, and service to ourselves. By being conscious of the choices we make when we choose to exercise our free will. I always remind myself, Sylvia, don't wait to do a huge endeavor. Don't wait to make a big impact. Don't wait till it benefits only you. And don't wait to get recognized or rewarded. Start small. one tiny step at a time. Plant a seed of good deeds, water it, and watch it grow. And you would have done your bit in this world, one kind act at a time, one kind thought, one kind word. Until next time, let's make good the opportunity we've been given. Bye for now.